Here we go. Now our
Whoa,
mic's
hey,
on.
whoa, the
Welcome.
mic has to be on.
Welcome
to
the celebrated nightly news of Calaveras County. We thank you very much for joining us. And today, we were running to make
That's right.
airtime
There was a
because there was a lot of
news
stuff going
today.
on that we couldn't leave the meeting until
the
the
final
vote
decision
was there.
was taken. Exactly.
Yeah. So we
exactly.
left San Andreas less than an hour ago. Ran up, back because basically the top of the news today is the moratorium is over.
Is over. Yes.
And before. And this one I know is very closely watched, and a lot of you watching have very strong held beliefs that the growth has been out of control in the county and rampant and things like that. So before you reach for your heart and think that, growth is going to go,
there
won't
are
happen.
actually some stipulations.
Yeah, there's going to be some stipulations to this where they're going to guide. We'll let Sarah bring us up to speed on that in a second. But just wanted to say that this is in some ways a marketing victory. Because I think, for example, Supervisor Walensky today mentioned that one of the reasons that he was voting in favor of letting the moratorium expire was that having the moratorium in effect placed a stigmatism on the county as far as attracting businesses, economic activity, and everything else that had no relation, or at least no direct relation, to building or anything like that. It was just, and I think what this does is actually remove a little bit of a cloud from the county as being seen as an unfriendly place to do business.
Exactly. The perception outside the borders of Calaveras County had become that it was very unfriendly to not only developers and builders, but also to business in general. So then that makes it very difficult to obviously attract any sort of retail business.
So I think it's fair to say that even members of the community who are not your slower growth or to want to slow things down, most members of that side of the community as well want to still have the county be seen as a good place to do business, because regardless of where you're seen on growth, you still want to have jobs. I mean, people still need, you still need economic activity. So I think there's a lot in this that I think where both sides of the aisle, so to speak, can be happy and feel comfortable in this. Because I think during this last year, the county government got the message loud and clear that there's a large segment of the population that wants to see, that doesn't want to see the Walmartinization, for lack of a better word, of Calaveras County. They don't want to see it look like Lathrop or Manteca or Stockton. I think so. I think that message was delivered. And some of the constraints going forward, I think, will be put in place.
What's interesting though is that they didn't just vote to let the moratorium expire. They also voted to implement certain restrictions on applications going through the process.
Or the carrot and the stick, so to speak.
Exactly. The applications going through the process, certain stipulations have to be met to go through the process until the general plan update is actually completed.
Correct.
So there were actually three very sort of important stipulations that they put on development in the county until the general plan update process is done, which it's looking like another couple of years before that happens. But one of the things that the Board of Supervisors actually approved in this whole vote and discussion today was that developments need to, well, they should, if you're going to actually put an application in, you should put an application in for building or development on land that is already served by surface water and public sewer systems. Water and sewer, which means the infrastructure is already there for you to build. So that's not laying out new lines.
So that, so it doesn't, they don't get into the whole depletion of groundwater and all the rest of the stuff. And I think which in other ways will necessitate or actually encourage development in already developed areas, infill.
And that was another stipulation is they want cluster density. Actually, developments, meaning more bang for your buck, more rooftops in a smaller area than these sort of huge sprawling subdivisions that have been built.
Similar to the Saddleback Hills development that
Exactly, in
was proposed
San
and passed
Andreas.
a couple of weeks ago in San Andreas. So I
Exactly.
think there's some definite clear direction that I think was going to send. And I think today's the day that everybody can walk away saying "Yay!" Because well,
But there was a third stipulation too that I want to touch on.
Sure.
Because county roads are a huge issue in Calaveras County,
Yes, they
and
are.
sort of the upgrading of them, and the fact that in a lot of subdivisions in the past, the roads have been built not to county standards, and what they stipulate too is that roads inside developments need to be built to county standards, so that should the county decide to come in and take them over, they do not have to then upgrade them.
right. And if you sat in on a few board meetings, this topic has taken up many hours of public discussions.
Yes, exactly.
And
The old roads.
why didn't we bring it into the county system? Well, it wasn't up to standards of the county system, so we would have to. So, without being boring here, this topic has consumed many hours of back and forth.
Absolutely, yes. And one or the other of us have sat through those many hours at one time or another. So those are stipulations that the Board of Supervisors have put on applications going through the process until the general plan update is completed.
Which is not to say that you can't submit a project that doesn't conform to those, but without saying so, it's like, it may not get to the front of line anytime soon.
Exactly.
And I think that's, yeah, and so the meeting was held today at the San Andreas Town Hall.
And this is a picture of the backs of people's heads.
Backs of people's heads. That's just a wonderful shot of a sparsely populated
San Andreas Town Hall there.
Yes.
Yes.
But it was there's probably 50 people there, because we're not showing you the other side of the room, which had a much higher density.
Yes.
Speaking of densities and yeah,
Density, cluster density.
cluster densities. Yes, the part of the room that is out of the picture has a much higher cluster density than this one.
Yes. There are actually reporters on this side.
But yeah,
See, right there. Dana Nichols, Vanessa Turner. That looks like Vanessa
it is
Turner.
Vanessa Turner. Yes.
Okay, see, that's
So-
the reporter side. And then, of course, John Hamilton in the back.
Yeah, taking up where all the
back row, but
the juvenile delinquents.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, the juvenile delinquents.
in that stipulation of the A students sit in the front rows, and the B,
Well,
C sort
the
of
other thing
going
is
back.
if you haven't been in the San Andreas Town Hall, there's actually a bar.
That's
in
right,
the back
in the
of it.
back.
So
yes.
I was actually in the bar the whole time. I was actually behind the counter
Behind
in the bar.
the counter at the bar, huh?
Yeah, I just stood in the bar. Anyway,
Your next incarnation as a bartender, huh?
I don't know about
no,
that.
no,
but
I don't
anyway.
think that would work too well.
But
anyhow, so that's the top of the news
so
today.
smaller
actually.
picture is this other side. There's a few more bodies on that side. All right,
And also, you sat in on the regular.
we did. We did sit in on the regular board meeting and the Valley Cooper contract for the consulting contract for the planning development department, which by most people's account has been a good thing. The only real negative on that is cost to the county.
Yeah.
And hastening the bringing of most of the workload back inside. Extended the contract, I believe, till June.
Yeah.
And then it will, a little bit, but there will be a concerted effort to gradually transfer those services to
Back into the
in-house
county.
staff. They don't expect actually, a full 40-hour work weeks from the consultant staff going forward. None of the reasons for the extension was they are switching from the uniform building codes to the international building codes, and that is starting up January 1st. So the building codes that everybody's been working under for these many years are all getting thrown out the window. Not thrown out the window, but replaced by the international standards.
That's right.
So in some instances it may not have much of an impact, but on certain areas of code it has a huge
Impact, exactly.
So they also would, I think everybody's happy to keep them around and those go January 1st, but to keep them around during the transition process and everything else, I think it will make it significantly easier.
Yeah, just a little.
And there was also a lot of community development items that were on the agenda that got pushed back.
Yes.
So, and they may have been pushed back based on what happened later in the day.
Possibly, yes.
Could be.
Could
They
be.
may have been told,
Could be.
you may want to just wait a little bit
while
on this
before you-
because some good things may happen that,
Yeah.
or not,
Or not, who knows?
especially if they're not on sewer
and water and cluster density and county roads.
Yeah.
So, there you go. There you have it. And also there was a structure fire today, actually in Rancho Calaveras. And at about 3:30, a fire pretty much destroyed a house. And the cause was that a smoker was on a wooden cart on the patio.
And one would suppose by that it was not a human smoker sitting on a wooden cart. Well, it could have been.
It was, I think, a meat smoker. It
Oh,
could
not
have been.
just a human smoker
No.
that just
Then they would say by a smoke, like caused by a cigarette. See? Yes.
Well, it wasn't just the smoker that
No.
combusted.
No, it wasn't. Although spontaneous combustion is actually a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Supposedly, yes. BBC did a little thing on
It
spontaneous
is a
combustion.
fact, huh?
Yes, they actually tried to recreate spontaneous combustion, but we won't go into that. But this particular fire, there was a estimated dollar damage of $100,000 to the structure and $20,000 to the contents of the residence, and a man and a woman were displaced because of the fire. So
We
and
weren't trying to make light of their problems.
No,
at all. I'm
no,
joking. Because we were trying to.
No, because when you see smoker,
Yeah, it
in
was
these
the manner
reports,
in which it
it's-
was reported, not that we were
Exactly.
trying to make
Uh-huh.
light of anybody's
Exactly.
plight in any way.
So hopefully there will be no more structure fires within the holiday season, because there was one just a couple days
Yeah.
ago too, that on Wildwood Court in Murphy. So that's also happened today.
And on
Or-
the other
Yeah, Monday.
bit of news is up at Bear Valley, there was some
Yes.
big news announced today. All right, that new additions to the Hill and the management team. For most of you who have lived in the area for a while, the Rasmussen last name has been synonymous with skiing, Bear Valley for a couple generations.
Yes,
since the 60s.
Absolutely.
And now that I'm a couple generations old,
That's
wait,
right.
no, that's
Yes, those are a lot of us actually.
Right.
So
but also, so the press release. Well, this is something we've known about for a couple weeks, but we were like, "Can we post something? Can we post something?" At a request of the Hill, we held off until they had the official release. So so Clayton Rasmussen has been announced as resuming his position that was held for numerous years as head of Hill operations for the Hill.
yes.
And this is a great thing because if their desire is to produce a good product, a good snow product, this helps a lot because Clayton knows literally where every line is buried, all this equipment. We talked to one man today, for example, that said a lot of this equipment at Bear Valley is now 40 years old. And
Yes, it is.
he has literally grown up with this equipment. And it's one of those things like analogy to driving an older car. If it's a brand new car, anybody can drive it, right? But if it's an old car, to most people it may even appear not workable, but to the right hands, you know how to run it.
That's
you
right.
know how to use it.
That's
so I
right.
think, not that saying that the Bear Valley equipment
That's
is
right.
analogous to an old car. Everybody's like, somebody watching the Bears
They're
like,
like,
hey, wait a minute,
what's going on?
No, because I know it was like the we don't want to imply that. But what we're saying is there's a lot of areas in a huge complex mechanical organization like Bear Valley of moving skiers on equipment and everything else that's old. He will know intuitively the right spot to kick or something
right.
like that to make sure to make it all
run.
to make it all run.
smoothly. Exactly.
And because some of the things that have been in the past that I think Bear Valley is trying to is they've had midday incidents with lifts and things like that, going out of operation. That I think having a seasoned hand that was around because he was probably in hand in a lot of this stuff for actually installing a lot of this equipment that's there. So, and for some of you that don't know, Maury Rasmussen, his father, was directly involved in the initial creation of Bear Valley originally. So I think there's a lot of a lot of people are pretty excited about this for not only because it kind of brings things full circle. It's yes, they have the development going forward, the big plans they have for the village and as an organization as a whole. But there's also the heritage there, and I think having Clayton on staff, it kind of completes the circle.
Exactly.
So everyone can kind of go sit around and go,
yeah, exactly.
And the other
do skiers do that?
They may for snow right now.
Oh, for snow. Going, that's right. For snow.
And the other announcement is the announcement of, let me get to his name right here, and also Dave Hager joins Bear Valley as the Director of Snowmaking and Snow Removal, bringing over 22 years of experience to the mountain. The addition of Hager and members of his expert snowmaking team is a significant step for Bear Valley Mountain Resort. Hager comes to Bear Valley from areas where snowmaking was crucial to business. And what we've heard from the last few weeks is in Angel Fire, New Mexico, and Big Bear in Southern California. And these are resorts that are used to opening on man-made snow.
Exactly.
So they viewed Mother Nature coming along and dumping precipitation as a benefit, not necessarily a requirement for operations. And I think that brings a slight but significant improvement to operations in the hill, because that way they have old hands at not only seasoned not only the hill, but also
it's a different type of snow.
But you're used to it.
And they're used to it.
I mean, it's
so
not
that they
like you
come
use
in
it as a
and they're
fill.
able.
It's like, okay,
exactly.
Let's get to work. We know we got a hill and runs to run and skiers to service, and they're used to serving putting out a good skiable product.
Yes.
Whether Mother Nature cooperates or not.
That's right. As long as it's cold enough and there's
and it is. It's even cold enough in here.
It is. Yes. That's why he has his little big jacket, his big heavy jacket on.
So to sum up, good news at the top of the hill.
And they're still looking. Oh, well, go ahead.
No, and there's more stuff in the article. For example, his son, Kyle, for those of you who don't know, was a champion World Cup and U.S. Olympic skier. So there's, so there's a lot of...
There's some skiing history, some snow history.
Many runs in history because...
Yes, absolutely.
So it's good to see Erasmussen back.
That's right.
At the hill.
And Bear Valley's still looking to open up on December 8th.
December 8th.
December 8th.
December 8th.
Get your skis ready.
He's been there for 37 years.
Wow.
So this is a quote from Clayton. Being here for 37 years, starting as a young kid on the block and sticking around long enough to be the old guy around, you see a lot of changes.
Yes.
You also see a lot of things. One thing I see in Bear Valley is a lot of promise. Building this resort to host the same classy feeling it had in the 70s will take some time and work, and I take great pride in helping make it happen.
Very nice.
Okay, I'll be quiet
Very
now.
nice.
But I was excited about this one because I think...
Yeah, it's a good move.
And I know for some of you watching the Bay Area, you think, it's a big, but if you're a local resident and you're local this is a nice thing, and I actually think there's a lot of goodwill that will go along with this as well. So
definitely,
it just makes you so happy to go out and buy a season pass, right?
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
I'll be quiet.
And you'll be
now.
out there skiing with the boys.
Right.
With the boys. So, and changing gears just a little bit, there's a Operation Christmas Goodies for the troops from Calaveras County going out to the troops this year. And apparently this has been going on for 4 years, and they are asking for some donations from the public. And it's actually headed up by a woman called Carrie Ramarini. And like I said, she's been doing this for 4 years, and they actually pack boxes for our troops across the world.
Very nice.
Very nice. So if you want to donate either baked goods, packaged snack foods, sort of candy, chapstick, handy wipes, books, whatever, medium-sized boxes are needed as well. And you can bring your donations to the Foothill Community Church in Angels Camp on December 2nd, or the Christian Family Learning Center by Monday, December 3rd for shipping that week. And boxes will be packed on December 3rd at 6 p.m. So if you have any questions, you can call Carrie at 736-2460 or Carla Smith at 736-9338.
And last night we told you about that we were going to feature Bear Valley's Winterfest and all the fun stuff.
Right.
We're probably going to run out of time because we had real news. Well, that's not real news, but we had
hard news.
Yes, harder news. Yes. From the Board of Soup. So
Yes.
that our feature of the Bear Valley Winterfest will be on tomorrow night instead of tonight.
Okay. I do want to touch a little bit on state news.
Yes.
And that is, I'm just going to read one headline just to sort of give you an idea of the tenor in Sacramento right now. This is actually from Capitol Alert.
And it's not in tune.
It's not in tune. They are now marching to tunes of different drummers again.
And off-key
Are
tenor.
we surprised? This is actually, like I said, a headline from Capitol Alert. Session planned during GOP retreat. When Assembly Speaker Fabian Nunez postponed a floor session on health care until early December, he rescheduled the vote for the day the Assembly Republican Caucus is slated to be in San Diego for its annual policy retreat. But despite the GOP lawmakers' plans to be hundreds of miles away, Nunez's office says the Speaker won't reschedule the vote. So there you go.
Yeah, that's how to win friends and influence people.
That's
in a
right.
nutshell.
That gives
There
you
go.
a little window into the Sacramento political world. Yeah, exactly.
Touch a little bit on national news. The big news from the national news is thank you, Abu Dubai.
Yes.
And basically, they're dumping, I think it's almost $8 billion into Citibank.
Yes.
So to prop up that, so I think the stock market was elated and everything else. So
everybody was happy.
Everybody went away happy. And now Abu Dubai now owns a huge chunk of Citicorp.
Citicorp. Yes. Yes. So everybody was happy about that, and
we like all things web related, right?
yes, we do.
Yeah, and in light of all things web related, it looks like that the web sales so far this year, and this is from Financial Times, U.S. online retail sales have been growing at better than expected rates in the run-up to the holidays, according to Wall Street Journal analysts and internet retailers. The news mirrors the robust start to the holiday shopping season by traditional. So it looks like traditional people are happy. And this is, I think, is pretty significant.
It's indicative of the economy.
For a lot of people that don't think Walmart is the cutting edge of fashion, their online sales at Walmart.com are up 40 to 60% annual growth.
Wow.
That's pretty good growth numbers.
Very nice. Because Black Friday, and who actually calls it Black? I mean, wasn't this the first year we heard it called Black Friday?
I thought it was always that way.
No, I had never heard it called Black Friday before. But sales were up on Black Friday,
Oh yeah,
especially
like 8%
amongst
I mean,
25 to 45-year-olds. Apparently, were the ones out there spending. So
Really?
They were the
Wow.
largest percentage. I can't.
I think
remember
I pulled
the
those
percentage,
numbers down.
but You did?
Yeah, because I wasn't out there.
Oh, you were out
Yeah,
there. You weren't out there.
I skewed those. It would have been higher if I didn't exist.
I didn't go shopping on Friday
yeah,
either.
See, it would have been higher if
That's
we didn't
right,
exist.
that's
We
right.
pulled the.
Yes, if we didn't exist, those numbers would be much higher. But we do.
Yeah.
We do.
So in essence, the takeaway is it looks like about a 45% growth rate
Yes.
over
And
last
this
year.
is on the online sales, not.
And that's not just Walmart.com.
That's everybody. Which is substantial. It's substantial.
Yeah.
And on to weather.
On to weather.
Arnold weather. Wednesday, sunny with a high of 53 degrees. Thursday, sunny with a high of 53. And Friday, dipping a little bit. Not dripping. Mostly
Dripping?
sunny. No
No
rain.
dripping?
No
Oh,
dripping.
man.
Mostly sunny with a high of 48 degrees.
And since we spent a lot of time talking about Bear Valley, we will. The Bear Valley weather tonight. Clear and cold. 28 degrees for the low. High of 44 tomorrow. A low of 31 tomorrow night. 43 on Thursday. 30 on Thursday night. So at least like they can still be making snow.
That's right.
And on Friday night, there is a chance of snow flurries with
That's
a 21 degree.
Ooh, that is
so,
chilly.
Yeah.
Very. Murphy's, Wednesday, sunny with a high of 62 degrees. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 62. And Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 58.
Angels Camp, low of 34 tonight, 60 tomorrow, 38 Wednesday night, 60, 36, 56, and 34 to round out the week.
Wow. Let's see.
And for our friends in Bangor, Maine, 44 and 19 tonight.
Wow.
27 and 18 tomorrow, 39 with snow and 21 as a low, 33 and 14 on Friday.
Wow.
Almost single digits. So
Wow.
don't smack your hand on a lobster crate or a pot because it will hurt.
It will hurt badly.
Very bad.
Very badly. Copperopolis, 61 degrees. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 58 degrees. And probably pretty similar for Valley Springs, too.
Yes.
Because that's our time for tonight.
And the recap, the moratorium is over.
Yes.
So you can expect retail sales and everything to just jump overnight.
Jump overnight.
Yeah, there will be joy and dancing.
Joy,
anyway,
joy.
just kidding. Unless you were thinking, but I was in favor of it being renewed.
That's right.
Which a lot of you were. But don't, it was
It was with stipulations.
stipulations that will make you happy.
We hope.
We hope.
Good night.
Thank you very much. Good night.